the Moose. So nothing much happened with them in episode 2. The only thing that was really interesting was that they finally knocked boots. And I guess it was good because Annie was giddy, but the Moose was real quiet. So, let me tell you something. Sex doesn't have a language. You know what I mean? Like, everybody speaks the same language when it comes to sex because they can't communicate, through words, but they can communicate through genitalia. They seem to have had a great time. And you know what? No shade, but I realize why I like this couple so much. They remind me of the Gnome couple. Do you remember that show? What was it? The Adventures of the Gnome? I think it was on Nickelodeon or Nick Jr., but that was my show back in the day. And I used to love that adorable gnome couple. And this is what Annie and the Moose reminds me of. They remind me of the gnome couple. Just cute, tiny, and adorable. I'm still rooting for them. I want them to win. And listen, let's talk about how the Moose hasn't told his family that Annie has children. Yes, it's a cultural thing, right? But I also think it's maybe him protecting himself because he doesn't really know if this is going to work. So he's probably told his family that he came here to maybe visit her or whatever. But maybe he don't want to give them all that information until he knows that this is the real deal. This is the 90 days that they are using to figure out if this is something that they want to do, if they want to get married, if they want to be together for the rest of their lives. So he probably just left out some things, but I think that Annie is making it a bigger deal than what it really is, because sitting down with her mom and her son and having this conversation about him not telling his family about her having kids because they don't believe in having children out of wedlock. I just think that it was a really big conversation that, one, did not need to happen at this stage in their relationship, and two, did not need to happen in front of her son, and three, did not need to happen with your questionable mother. I don't know about her because just the way she was speaking, I'm like, ma'am, you are talking in a way like you don't have brown grandsons. Like, that mother was giving me something, but I just felt like that conversation just did not need to happen just yet, and that Annie was making it so much bigger than it really needed to be and getting very emotional about it. And that showed me that she was probably more invested in the relationship than Moose. Maybe Moose doesn't look like he's invested in the relationship because we can't really understand him and he probably don't really know what's going on. But I'm just saying, you know how to get to her vagina, so you need to know how to communicate with her and figure out what the hell y'all gonna do, because this woman has 3 children that she is bringing you into her life. So you need to know what's going on here, the both of them. And I just don't think that they're on the same page, and I want them to be because I love this little gnome. I will say this, Michael is a cornball, right? That aside, I love the fact that he was just like, I love Juliana. I don't care. Like, I'll spend all my money on her. I don't care what anybody says. Like, this is what I want to do. This is my money and this is my woman and I want to shower her. Listen, I would love to have a man say that about me. I don't care what my family says about how much money I'm dropping on you. You're my woman and I'm going to keep on dropping it. Yes, I'm accepted, daddy. But Michael, you got kids, bro. Please don't be that man to spend all this money on a woman that don't stay with you and you leave nothing for your children. That is your seed. That is your seed. Those children need to be your priority. If you didn't want them to be your priority, you shouldn't have created them. So don't be spending all your money up where there's nothing left for your children. And don't shortchange your kids for her, because that's going to create some tension within your family that you don't need. Speaking of Michael spending, he mentioned how he gave Juliana a credit card and she keeps on spending it down. I really don't think she's spending it on lavish things. I think that Juliana is, in a sense, tricking him to take care of her family. And I think she's probably using that credit card. She probably used that credit card to get a car. If she's moving to America, she doesn't need a car. I think she bought that car for a family member. I think she's taking care of her family. And it's very sad in a lot of ways, because that happens with a lot of immigrant families and also a lot of poor families. A lot of the time, the kids are raised to go after jobs or go after wealthy partners to be able to take care of their family. And that shouldn't be on the children. It should not be on the children, but it is. It really is. Like, hell, it's even on me. But that's how you're raised when you come from impoverished communities. And I think that's what she's doing. This young girl is doing everything that she has to do to take care of her family. And if her body is the only way that'll get her and her family out of poverty, that is what she's going to do. And that bothers me, because I see it. And Michael sees it, but he doesn't care because he's getting to, wet his aging penis in a nice, young, tight, brown vagina. You know what I mean? So he's getting, fulfilled. But I'm just like, look what you're getting fulfilled through. Like, like men know, that this kid is with you for your money. There's no other way that you could have got her, buddy. You couldn't have got her broke. You couldn't even got her with some middle class money. You had to have some serious money for this girl to be like, I gotta do what I got to do. So I'm not shocked that she's spending his card crazy. I don't think she's spending it on herself. I think she's spending it on her family. But I am shocked that he's shocked that she has his credit card and she's, you know, spending a lot of stuff. You know, if you gave that to an American girl at that age, that credit card will be spent down. Ain't nobody at 23 know money management. You know what I mean? And if somebody is showering them and then they give them this card, you think that you're doing that so I can maintain the way that you've been treating me. So I'm not shocked. I don't know why Michael is shocked. I don't think he's really that shocked. I think he's just saying that, you know, for the show to create like, you know, some drama like, oh my goodness, she's spending my card. But bro, you know, you've been doing this for a while, so this ain't news to you. It may be news to your ex-wife, who, if that was me, let me tell you something. If I was watching this show and I saw how he was lacing this young girl with all this money, all these gifts and everything, taking the money out of my kids' pockets and out of my alimony, let me tell you something. I will be down in the courts today, talking to the judge like, yo, he got it. Up my child support and up my alimony, because obviously he got too much extra money on his hands. So we finally get to meet Juliana. Beautiful girl, but she just seems so young. And this relationship makes me feel uncomfortable. Now that we see her and see her with him and how she's, oh, you're so funny. It's just very childlike. I'm uncomfortable. I am really uncomfortable with this relationship. How y'all feel about Michael and Juliana? Because through seeing her and just seeing her interact with him, I didn't feel good. And then like Brazil, you know, denying her because they think that she's doing prostitution. Juliana, what are you doing? Because when you get flagged like that, they see something or they know something. So I don't know what happened, because obviously she does, you know, get cleared to come to the United States. So Michael or the show probably paid off the right people. But the fact that she kept on getting flagged, I was just like, wait a minute. They're not flagging you just to bother you. What are they seeing on your record to make them think that you're a prostitute? Who got the tea on Juliana? I know one of y'all do. Let's talk about it. Get in them comments with the link. Tanya and Syngin. So we finally get to meet Syngin. Him and Tanya, this is the thing. I could be wrong. I think that they have a lot of sexual chemistry. I think they met in a time, in a place where they didn't have any inhibitions or, you know, anything really to worry about. They were just having a really good time. Even he said, I thought I was just gonna have a really good night with her and not see her again. But here I am coming to the United States to see if I want to get married to her and have kids. So I think this might be a problem, because I don't think they're on the same page. I think that Tanya is just ready for these things. She's ready for her husband and she's ready for kids. It could have been anybody, but Syngin was the dude that, you know, took the bait. And so I'm not really sure about this couple. You know what I mean? I think they met I think they met in South Africa. They had great sex for days, and, you know, he could match her sexually. She could match him sexually. And I think they're running off of that. So I'm a bit concerned that after the sex, that they don't have much left in common. Before I move on to her friends that would not leave, can we talk about how her and her friends put down these flowers for Syngin, and that old man came by and was sweeping? He was like, no, my boss said I got to do this. They were like, no. Was so upset and grumpy when he had to walk away and leave them flowers on that floor. Now let's talk about her friends who like couldn't take a hint. Let me tell you something. My friend could have never asked me to do this. Like, I would have went there, you know, just to make sure she was safe and comfortable with this guy. But then I would have left. Like, especially after they went to the hotel room and had sex, I would not have hung around to go to dinner with them later that night. If you had sex with him, honey, you feel safe. You're good. Why am I still hanging out? Her friends hung out for days. Not only did they hang out for days, they also went back to the hotel room after they had sex and was sitting on the bed. I was just like, it don't smell funky in there. Y'all sitting on the bed. Y'all sitting in Syngin semen. Like, what is going on? Not me, honey. I would have been like, girl, you safe. You know what I mean? Call me after the hotel and let me know how I went down. If it went down and you feel good, I'm out. Why are y'all still there? Where are y'all husbands? Where are y'all boyfriends? Ain't nobody missing y'all? Emily and Sasha, let me tell you something. I don't know if I heard this correctly, because I went back to see if I heard something incorrectly. And Emily, you messy. you messy because it slipped out, and Emily and Sasha tried to correct it in their little confessional, but Emily slipped up and said that she was talking to Sasha while he was still married. So this is why you keep on defending him and got beef with his ex-wives, because you was messing with him when he was still married. See, let people talk long enough and they hang themselves. Sasha arranges this sit down with Emily and Velma, his ex-wife, right? So he's telling Emily that his first ex-wife is keeping him from his child. So he wanted to bring Velma here just to make sure there won't be any issue if he wants his son to come visit them when they're in America. Now, I want to be sure here. Did you guys think that he meant have the son come stay with him in the United States or just come visit? I think he was talking about visiting for the summer or something like that. Anyway, they sat down with Velma, and Sasha is interpreting the conversation to Emily because Emily went there to teach English, but she didn't bother learning Russian, but she was having sex with Russian men and getting pregnant. How are you in Russia and you don't know? How long has she been there? How long has she been in Russia and she don't know how to speak Russian? But she know, I'm telling y'all, sex is a universal language because she don't understand nothing that's going on in the place that she lives, but she managed to date a guy and get pregnant. Anyway, so Sasha is interpreting this conversation, and I'm telling you, none of what Velma is saying, Sasha is interpreting to Emily. Like, none of it. She's telling this girl all his business, all the tea. She even told us in the confessional that the same thing that Sasha did to her, he gonna do to Emily. She was just like, he just wants to get to the United States. Like, girl, like she didn't hold anything back. She was like, he just wants to get to the United States. And when he gets to the United States, the same thing he did to me, he's gonna do to her. Because after I had the kid, he didn't want to be bothered with me anymore. And I think that Sasha is the kind of guy that uses his semen to get him in places or give him a leg up in areas, because it seems like he marries well. Like he marries into families that are doing better than his, or marries women that can open up doors for him. So whatever Velma or the first wife gave to him, maybe I think it was probably financial, you know, a financial status, or maybe they were taking care of him. Now he has Emily, who is not only taking care of him, but is going to get him to the United States of America and on a TV show. So this girl has really upgraded him. So I think he looks for women that can upgrade him, and Velma called it. She was just like, as soon as, you know, she drops that kid, he's going to be done. Like he's going to do the same thing to her that he did to me, and he did the same thing to me that he did to his first wife. So she already sees the pattern, and she already sees it happening with Emily, and she doesn't have any problems with her son coming to the United States, right? But Velma's thing is, she hasn't even bothered to learn Russian. So why do you want me to send my child with someone who can't communicate with them, especially if you're not going to be there the whole time? Velma has some really good concerns, and I was on her side. And Velma was letting us know that Sasha is trash. But listen, sis, you didn't have to tell me that. I already saw it. But Emily is so gullible. So gullible. Sis, you are literally getting scammed on national TV. And there's nothing that you can do about it because you have a child by this man. So you stuck with him for the rest of your... Ladies, we gotta make better decisions with our wombs. Like, you can't be busting it open for anti-body. Listen, if you be having these urges like this and you are just craving a penis, mom, don't listen. Get a sex toy. Get a sex toy. If the hand isn't doing what you need it to do, the shower cap, what is it? The shower head? Listen, there are some women who say that they get their life with, you know, the highest pressure on the shower. Listen, not me. I'm too grown. I'm too sexy to be sitting on some bubbles in a hot tub. I mean, come on. You just get the real deal after that. No judgment, but I'm just saying, not for me. But if you have an itch that you need scratched, there are ways that you can do it without getting pregnant by sperm terrorists. That's what Sasha is. He is a terrorist with his semen. You better watch out. He gonna be a national security problem with that we alone. Women in America, watch out. We in danger. Robert and Annie. So before Annie arrives to the United States, Robert sits down with his friend Juan, who is from the Dominican Republic. And Juan is telling him to not get with Annie and to leave her in the DR because women from the Dominican Republic are awful. Can I just say, why are men from every culture trash? Like, ain't nobody asked Juan and his no-neck having self to go on national TV and trash the women of his own culture. Do you realize when you trash Dominican women, you're talking about your mother? Like, do you realize that? So you saying that your mom is a hoe and a scammer? Is that what you're telling us, Juan? Because how dare you? I'm watching this dude, and I'm like, you use a national platform to demean the woman in your family, the woman that you came out of, because probably some Dominican chick didn't want to date you because you ain't got no neck. Like, how dare you? How dare you? It was so unnecessary and it was so ugly. That's why God didn't give you a neck, because he knew that you was going to be a horrible human being. So we finally get to meet Annie. Beautiful woman out of Robert's league, but hey, it is what it is. Secure the bag, sis. Anyway, when Annie gets here, although I think that Robert's son, Bryson, is, he's a handful, the way he ran to Annie, oh, that just melted my heart. Because I don't know what's going on with Bryson's mother or if she's in his life, but that boy loves Annie. I don't know if he just loves the idea of having a nurturer, a mother in his life. I don't know if it's that, because I don't know the situation with his mom, but the way he ran to her, he was so excited to see her. And I'm just like, he really wants at least a mom in the home. He really, really wants that. And he's also, and I also think, because kids do this, he also wants somebody, a partner for his dad. You know what I mean? Like, kids, they see a parent struggling, right? And they can't, because they're so young, they can't really articulate it, but they know what that parent, you know, desires. Kids are very, very smart. They just don't have the words yet to articulate how they're feeling. But I think that he knows that his dad wants something like this, or he knows how his dad reacts when he either talks about Annie or comes back from seeing Annie. And he probably just wants to keep that environment the way it is. Whatever reason that child wants Annie to be in his life. When he ran to her, my heart, I was just like, he loves you. He loves you, Annie. Please don't break this kid's heart. Like, I hope you and his dad work out, although I want better for you because Robert needs some work. If he puts in the work, I would want her to stay with his family, because Bryson really responds very well to her. However, when they get to the home, he doesn't want to go to bed, right? I think it's because Annie's here. And he also doesn't have a bedtime because his dad does not discipline him, right? But I also think he's just very excited to see Annie, and he doesn't want to go to bed. And Annie is just like, I want Bryson to go to bed so we can have some sex. Yes. Because Robert is looking at her. He's like, are you ready for this? This is your life. He has a bedtime. Okay, well, put your child to bed. Annie is still a stranger to him. This is not her job. Like, you just want her to come in and fix everything in your life that you think is wrong. She's not a magician. She's your wife. I know that men think that we are just these magical vaginas that can do all this stuff and make their life better. Listen, we're not magical. We're just God's best creation. You have to realize he made us because he realized that you had some chromosomes missing. So he said, let me make something even better to help this fool out. We are here to help you. We are not here to fix all of your problems. You got to do some work your damn self on you. Tanya and Syngin. Listen, I love my friends. My friends are, especially my friends have been rocking with me since I was like 13. They're not even my friends anymore. They're family. Like, my kids are going to call them auntie and uncle, you know, whatever. So they are going to have a very special place in my heart. But when I get married, my husband is coming first. Like, Tanya literally said to Syngin that her friends come first. She didn't even say her damn mama. She said, my friends. Your girlfriends come before your man? Girl, no. Girl, no. Nobody comes before my king. Well, there are people that come before my king, like, you know, God, my mom, and Harriet Tubman. Okay? There are people in my life that will be, especially, and then the kids, the kids are going to have to come second because this got to be strong. Anyway, I'm just saying, like, I'm not putting, like, your husband, this is somebody that you are going to create life with. And he comes second to your girlfriends? Not in this household. My king come first, okay? But I'm always going to have my friends that, you know what I mean? Like, my friends are never going to go away. Like, that is one thing though. The man that comes into my life, he got to be cool with my community because they were here before you. I may love you and I may want this to work out, but you got to work it out with me, my family, and my friends. And when I say family, I'm talking about like my immediate. Them mother knuckleheads that I don't really mess with. You don't got to like them because I don't leave. Not all of them. Because I know they watching. Right in the family group chat. Nikki said she don't like us. I love y'all. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But I'm saying, like, he has to be able to, you know, adapt well into my community because these people are not going anywhere. But when I take his last name and carry his seed, he come first. Like, that's so crazy to me. Your husband is coming second to your friends. What? This is why you single. Tanya, I honestly get her wanting to have kids young, right? Because her mom had kids young. But I'm like, sis, your mom is not a good example because your mom is tired and worn out. You know what I mean? Like, she had you young and you still here. She wants you gone. I feel like somebody like Tanya needs to wait. I think she needs to wait to have children because I don't think that she is fully developed, right? Not saying that something is wrong with her mentally, but I just think that she has some growing up to do because she is willing to get pregnant by Syngin or anybody because she wants kids now, not understanding that if you want a partner to raise your children with, you have to make sure that your relationship is tight and secure before you start creating life that you guys have to take care of together. You know, that's a big ask to ask of Syngin, especially after you have talked about it and he said that he wanted to wait. So now that he gets her to the United States, you're giving him this ultimatum that you have to have kids now. And then even when he says in this conversation where they're sitting down talking about their future, finally they have some downtime, some alone time without her girlfriends. She tells him that, you know, I'm having kids now with or without you. And he's just like, well, it seems like you already have your story written and I'm just a player in your story and I can be replaced, you know, if I don't want to play ball. And she's just like, oh no, that's not it. That's exactly what it is. She already has her life planned out and whoever fits that part, she will allow them to play a really huge part in her life. And that's being the father to her kid. Like, I don't think she's thinking realistically. She is somebody who, I love the fact that she walks by faith and not by sight, but she needs somebody like Syngin who's a realist. You know what I mean? Like, he's talking real to her and she just, no, this is happening. No, this is what I'm doing. And I'm like, girl, kids are not a fun accessory. They are human beings that you have to raise right. You're just trying to get any dude to fill this spot and you're not looking for the right man for you and for your children. Syngin's good for her. If he gets a job after he's able to work, if he like really gets a job and is serious about it, I think he'll be a great partner for her. But I don't see this couple lasting. I really, really don't. Tanya doesn't listen. Syngin doesn't seem like he's going to stick around. And like I said before, I feel like with this couple, after all that freaky sex, when all that stuff wears off, they have to deal with each other. And I don't think that they're going to be able to hack it. I just don't. And I don't want to, you know, who wants to say that about somebody that seems like they're in love? But they seem like they're in lust, in my opinion. Emily and Sasha. Emily, you should have had this child at home. Just seeing her go through pure hell without her mom. Like, nobody is there for her. Just Sasha, who can barely look. I'm like, you've been here twice already. You freaked out. He's just like, oh, this is really hard for her. It's not easy. You think she's pushing a human being out of her coochie? What you thought was going to happen? So she just cannot get herself together. She doesn't speak the language, so she can't really communicate with them. So she's in this foreign country for Emily, don't know the language, having a freaking child. You know, you could die from giving birth. Like, people don't know, like, giving birth is very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. So she's trying to push, there's an issue with the baby coming out. Like, I think the baby is twisted and they're trying to like turn the baby around, but she's in so much pain that they're just like, we're just gonna cut the baby out. So she has major surgery in Russia with no family. Emily, all for a man, all for a man. We gotta raise our daughters better. We really, really do, because so many women in this world are raised to put men first. It should never be that. It should never be that. We never think about ourselves. We are always thinking about men are the kids, men are the kids, men. We never matter. And I feel like if Emily thought more of herself, one, she wouldn't be in this situation, but she would probably be at home in America with her mother having a child. Thank God Emily's okay and the baby. So she's able to have the baby. And listen, did you hold your breath when the baby was born? Because I was just like, okay, I don't hear nothing. I didn't know that the baby just came out chilling. You know what I mean? Because the baby was quiet, chilling. And they was like, well, okay, say something. He finally, started crying. But he was just chilling. He wasn't ready to come out. He was mad comfortable in there. So when they pulled him out, he was still sleeping. Adorable baby. Welcome to the world, baby Sasha. Please don't be a scammer like your daddy. Please. Robert and Annie. So Annie gets here, and I guess she thinks how Robert treats her when he comes to the DR, that he's going to continue to treat her like that. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? So all of a sudden, Annie gets here, and Robert wants her to be a warden and a nanny to Bryson, a sex slave to him, and then also adjust to living a poorer life. She was just like, listen, I don't dress this way in the DR. I'm not dressing this way in the United States of America, because he takes her shopping. He tells her he's going to take her on a trip, and he takes her thrift shopping. Like, listen, thrift shopping ain't for everybody. It had to grow on me. I was not into thrift shopping because I was just like, Annie, I'm not buying, used clothes. But baby, when you go thrift shopping in New York City, oh, sweetie. Oh, so it is Sex in the City in them thrift shops. You will be dressed down in a New York City thrift shop. New York City changed my mind about thrift shops. Anyway, wherever Robert had Annie wasn't no New York City, and she was not into it. She was just not into it. She was just like, I want, Gucci, Dior, Prada, Balenciaga. I want you to treat me the way that you treated me when you came down to the Dominican Republic. He wasn't buying her no thrifted items in the Dominican Republic. So why are you buying her thrifted items now? And then telling her that she has to get used to it. And also, can we talk about how terrible his temper is? Now I understand Bryson a bit more and his outbursts and his temper tantrums, because his father has it. Like, Robert does not know how to talk to Annie when he's upset without talking to her in complete disdain and disrespect. It's ugly. And the way he looks at her, you're going to learn how to budget. Who are you talking to? She is doing you a favor. Like, how dare you? I did not like how he was talking to her. I did not like how he treated her. Annie was not asking for a lot. She was not asking for a lot. He told her that he was going to surprise her with a shopping spree. Let me tell you something. Even as an American woman, any woman, your man says, hey, I got a surprise shopping spree that I want to take you on. Let's go. You don't think he's taking you to the good damn will? Like, come on, Robert. You had to know that that was not going to go over well. And so he gets mad at her for not being excited about that. Then he takes her to dinner, and she's still upset because of the way that he was talking to her. She was just like, well, you don't got to talk to me like that. Like, if I don't like something, you don't have to disrespect me. And he did. I'm Team Annie on this one. I'm Team Annie on this one. This woman has made a lot of sacrifices. And yes, she may be with you for the money, but you with her for the beauty and the booty. Then this fool gonna get her a gift, and it's lingerie. Listen, I love my lingerie too, okay? Hello, Savage Fenty. But when you say you getting a gift for me, it better not be no gift for you. Because it was a gift for him. Like, he's very selfish. A very, very selfish partner. And I don't like that. I don't like that in him. You know what I mean? I don't know enough about this couple, but from what I've seen, I'm Team Annie. Team Annie all the way. Robert has a bad attitude. And he is very ungrateful for Annie, who was giving this fool the time of day. How dare you? How dare you? You are 5'4" with a ponytail. Are you serious? Boy, bye. Boy, bye. Mike and Natalie, great casting, TLC. This show has really great casting. So Mike is a country giant who fell in love with his Russian babe, Natalie. Natalie is a friend of Michael's friend who married a Russian woman, and they all met and like went on a double date or whatever, and they fell in love. And so now he's trying to get her here to America because they want to get married. I'm not saying that this couple is the real deal. I do think that I think that Natalie cares for him. I think that she cares for him. I don't think that she's in love with him. I think that he is in love with her. And I think that she really, really cares for him and knows that he will give her a better way of life. I will say this. My grandmother always said, marry a man that loves you more than you love him. This is the situation for Natalie. I think she's marrying a man that loves her more than she loves him, right? However, she's also marrying a man that is in debt and has financial problems and is not telling her the truth. He's already starting this relationship off on a lie. I see this couple lasting, but I think that him being deceitful about his finances is going to be a huge problem and might eventually make this relationship fall apart. Because if you could keep your financial issues away from me and I'm somebody who you are engaged to, what else are you keeping from me? So you're breaking the trust right there. And you're taking me from a situation, making me believe that I'm coming into a far better situation, only to be probably worse off than I was when I was in Russia. I don't know if this couple could last with the way Mike is lying. I just don't see them lasting. They may be able to make it to the reunion. They may be able to make it to Annie giving birth to their first child, but I think the first child will be the deal breaker because that'll be more money. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why Mike doesn't want to have kids, because he's talking to Annie through FaceTime or whatever, or Skype, and she's talking about children, and he's just like, I don't know, I'm not ready yet, but not telling her that he's not ready because he cannot financially afford it, because he's just in a lot of debt. Like, he actually bought his family's farm because it was being sold, and he bought it to keep it in the family, but it's very expensive to take care of a farm. Like, he has his uncle, Bojangles. Can I tell you, I'm so happy that when he was calling him, he said, Bojangles, get out of here, Bojangles. I'm so happy that Bojangles was white. I thought a certain person was going to walk out there, and thank God it was Uncle Bojangles who lives in the shed on the property. Let's talk about Uncle Bojangles, because I think that Uncle Bojangles wants to live in that shed because he spends probably 23 hours out of the day getting high. Uncle Bojangles was high out of his mind in every scene. He is in that shed shooting up meth. It has to be, because I was looking at Uncle Bojangles, and let me tell you something, guys. I'm from the city of Philadelphia. I know meth, especially on white people. I know what that looked like, and I was looking at Uncle Bojangles like, this ain't just poverty. You in there getting high, Uncle Bojangles. You are in there getting high. And I think that Mike lets him live on the property. One, because that's his uncle, but I also think that he wants to watch him. Oh gosh, Natalie is going to be walking into a lot of stuff. She's going to be walking into a farm that they probably going to get evicted out of, a man who she loves but don't really got no money, or, you know, she likes. And then she's going to have to deal with the crackhead uncle. Ladies, it ain't worth it. We got to get our own money. We have got to get our, we cannot rely on pretty. We cannot do it. Annie and Moose. Annie, it's not that deep, sis. It's not that deep. So Annie decides to have a conversation with Moose again about his parents not knowing that she has kids. Sis, it's too soon. You know what I mean? This is probably why you shouldn't have sex so early and on in this relationship. As soon as you met him, you know, seen him for the first time, maybe you should not have been jumping down on him, because now you got all these emotions. Now you're crying because you don't know if he's going to leave you. Maybe you should have saved the cooch for the wedding night, because not every woman can have sex with a man and just get up and be cool. It's a lot of women that lay down with these men and they get up and they are emotional. They're a mess, because scientifically, let me give you a little fact. A man's semen stays in a woman's bloodstream for 7 days. That's why a lot of times y'all be like, oh my goodness, I'm craving him, because he's in your bloodstream. Stay woke. Anyway, Annie is very emotional. She's crying because she doesn't know if he's going to leave her, and, you know, they're passing the phone back and forth because they can't communicate. So, you know, she's shedding a tear and she's like, are you going to leave me? I'm like, girl, you two need to spend some time learning each other's language, because this right here, I would be getting sick of this every damn time. Like, both of them are so ignorant towards each other's language. Like, they don't know. They do not know that the most minute word they have to translate. I'm listening to this conversation like, you guys are translating the and. Damn, like, how y'all thought this relationship was going to work? So the Moose, again, maybe it's the language barrier, but he's like not as concerned or as emotional as Annie about his parents not knowing that she has children. And she's like, are you going to leave me? And he's just like, oh, maybe. Yes, I think so. But I don't think that he really understands the weight of the conversation, because they don't understand each other. You know, they cannot communicate. outside of their genitalia. And so they're having this issue. She's breaking down. He's looking at her, not understanding why she's breaking down. But I'm thinking that it's just, this relationship is very new for Moose. You know what I mean? Like I honestly believe that he thinks that I'm coming here to meet her to see if this is going to work. Annie is like, I'm bringing my husband here. We're getting married. And I just don't think they're on the same page with that. Also, I think that Annie may be emotional because she keeps on saying this, and I'm just like, are you trying to convince us or yourself? She keeps on saying that I'm not going to leave my kids to move to Turkey with Moose. And I'm just like, nobody asked you that. Nobody said that. And even when she says that he asked her to move to Turkey to be with him, I don't think that he asked her to leave her children. I don't want to believe that. Now, if that's the case, Annie, you shouldn't even brought him over here. Any man that wants you to leave your kids is not a man that you need to be with, if that's the case. But I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I think that Annie is very emotional because she feels guilty because she may have thought about it, or she probably does want to leave her children to go live with him. And she know good and well that mother ain't watching them kids. I think all of this emotion and all this crying and falling out about Moose's parents not knowing that she has children, it's just Annie guilting herself. I think that's what it is. Because the way he's reacting, I'm not getting that this conversation has happened or that is that big of a deal from him. But I'm getting it from Annie, and it's not making sense to me. And I'm starting to think that her tears are her own guilt for either considering it, probably bringing it up, or wanting to leave her children to be with Moose. That's what I think it is. What do you guys think? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. So, I realized I was calling her Annie. Anna, I'm so sorry. Anna, this was inappropriate. I don't think that Moose had to sit down and tell the boys that he didn't tell his parents that Anna had children. Like, that wasn't fair to him, and that wasn't fair to your sons. They didn't need to know that, because if this is something that is going to go past 90 days, they have to work on their relationship. You have now created a wedge in the relationship and made the wedge even greater than it already was, because they were already apprehensive about him, because boys are very protective over their mother and they don't know this man, and children always want their parents to stay together. Anna has now created an even bigger divide with the Moose and her sons, because she makes him sit down and thinking that this man that they already didn't want in their home is telling their mom to leave them and be with him. Like, you're creating this. And I think it's also because Anna doesn't have any friends. So her children have become everything. Like, the oldest is probably the way he is because he knows all of his mama's business. And that middle one is a therapist. You know what I mean? So the oldest is the protector, the middle is the therapist, and the baby is the one that she gets to actually be a mom to. You know, so I don't think it's fair for them. I do not think it's fair for them to have this conversation with Moose. I don't think it's appropriate, and I don't think it's fair to Moose. Now you're creating tension in a relationship that already started off rocky. So you're just creating all of this drama, this unnecessary drama in your family, because you don't know how to deal with your own emotions. Oh, girl, you made this situation harder than it actually had to be. Michael and Juliana. Michael finally got his child bride to come to the United States, and as soon as he sees her, he talks about making a porn in like a joking way, but it's very, but for me, he made it very obvious that this is like a sexual relationship for him. You know what I mean? Like, she was uncomfortable with it. You know, she didn't like him talking about that with her, especially after she was flagged for being a freaking prostitute by the Brazilian government. As soon as you get her in the car, you talk about making a porn. And I'm just like, oh, little girl, please. I hope you really, you know what, Juliana, listen to Aunt Nikki. When I get to the point where I can start to translate these videos, I will, because I hope you can understand me in English. Sis, this is what I want you to do. Get pregnant. Get pregnant at least 4 times. You're still young. I think you could hack it and kill it. If you can only give them 3, give them 3, right? You got to get pregnant, and you got to stay pregnant. As soon as you get married, I want you to be pregnant on your wedding day. Give them 3 babies and get the hell out of there. Because here is why. After you give them 3 kids, you got alimony and you got 3 incomes of child support. It is what it is. This is the game. This is the game, and we're going to play it, and we're going to play it well. So you got 3 incomes coming from child support. Then you also got alimony. Start a YouTube channel while you're married to him. Do one in English and do one in, what do they speak in Brazil? Portuguese? Is that Portuguese? Your language, right? Make them beauty channels and then start a mommy blog, a young mom blog, and you will blow up on Instagram. I want you to post yourself pregnant, and start, getting sponsorships from like cocoa butter and all them creams and all them little Gap kids and all that stuff. Post your little, swirly children on Instagram. Get some deals. Do this all independent of him. Get yourself your own agent and get yourself your own manager so they can make these deals outside of him. Don't do no business talking with him about none of your stuff. And if you have a management and if you have an agent where he will like be snooping around and he has to be in these conversations for you to be safe, let your agent and your manager know. Don't tell him my full amount. Whatever monies I get in, tell him I make a third of that. Do not tell him the truth because you're stacked. I know you, sis, you gonna send a lot of that money back home. I want you to send a portion, not all of that money back home. You gotta stack your coin. Build that YouTube, build that Instagram. Don't get into Twitter. Twitter is nasty and they love exposing people. You don't need that. So you need to work on your YouTube and you need to work on your Instagram and your mommy blog. Build all of that. Get his due 5 or 6 years of your life because you're still in your 20s. You don't want to give him too much because when you get out of this marriage, you got to get back to being snatched. You got to stay snatched the whole marriage. But when you get out of it, you got to be even more snatched. I don't know, if you into doing something to them titties or them butts because I feel like you want to attract something black, right? So you got to have some kind of meat. Black men don't do skinny. No matter your culture, you're going to have to give him some hips and some butt, right? So maybe the kids will help your hips spread and give you a little something back there. But I feel like you got an NFL star or you got a rapper in your future, sis. And get one that got some pop star money. That's when you when you can really flourish because this black man is going to take you all the way around the world. He's going to put you in areas you ain't never been in, sis. Listen to Aunt Nikki. Work it. Work it. Or if that ain't the way you want to go, stack that money, take care of your family, get your family here. Make sure you work on getting them all citizenship, and then you want to start your online shop. You need to start selling some nice, cute little clothes, start selling it in Brazil and start selling it here in the United States of America so you can have double the income. You got a little shop in Brazil where you're employing your family that's still there, and then you got your little online shop here in the United States of America. So you got double the income coming from your little online shops or your little beauty boutiques. Then you got your beauty YouTube, you got your mommy blog, you got your flourishing Instagram where you're doing little beauty makeup 30-second videos and you're selling weave and you're selling all kinds of butters and creams and tans and all of that stuff. Then at this point, Ford models will probably give you a look. Start modeling, Ma. Start modeling. At this point, you will have notoriety and you will have coin. So now you can fall in love. Now you can start dating the men that you want to date, the men that you're attracted to, the men that you really want to be with, and you can live your best life and you won't even be 30. Write this down, mama. Listen to me. Write it down. Write the vision and make it plain, sis. This is what you need to do. And also, last tip, the most important tip. Don't put nothing from him in your name because I got a hunch about your man. Don't, anything that he wants you to sign, oh, it's just, I want to put this building in your name. I want to put this store in your, don't do it. Don't do it. I get something from him. Don't do it. 5 to 6 years, that's all you giving him. Build, sis, build. And just give me 10% of your profits. That's it. That's it. Just bless your glittery fairy godmother with 10% and we good. Stay woke. So that's it for me. I hope you like my little brief catch up of 90 Day Fiancé, the new 90 Day Fiancé episode 1 through 3. I will be caught up this week because I don't know if we're going to have an episode this week because it's like the week of Thanksgiving. So I don't know, but I got a bunch of content that I'm going to put on this channel so you could have something to look at, during the holiday break or whatever. And then in December, we're going to have some more extra fun stuff to do because that's my birthday month, baby. And we are turning up every damn day in December. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And once again, thank you to Ramona N and Lauren J. I totally appreciate you guys donating to Nikki Star TV. Some people have been donating to me to help me get better equipment so I can do some lives with you more often, and then a lot of you are donating to my channel just because you love me, you think I'm cute, and you think I'm funny, and I totally appreciate it. But I just wanted to shout you guys out because I checked my PayPal recently and I saw that you guys had donated to me, and I totally appreciate the love and support that you guys give me. It really means the world to me. And if you want to bless a sister, because her birthday is coming up, my PayPal is in the About section. I'll probably put it somewhere right here. Check me out. Hit me up. Let me know. If not, keep on watching. Sit through my commercial breaks so I could get a little coin from that too. But even if you don't do that, I thank you for stopping by. Love you much, guys. See you soon, and happy holidays.